Nestled among the world tree of Kaldheim lies 10 realms, each comprised of a color pairing, which dictates their core themes. Planes like these, rare as they are, always excite me the most, as there are few planes in the multiverse who boast a composition of limited colors. The other that comes to mind is that of Alara and its shards. So I'm glad you've decided to join me on this journey through the 10 realms of Kaldheim. In this first expedition, we will be traveling to Axgard, home of the dwarves. Before we head out though, I would just like to thank those that support my travels, those of my patrons. Consider joining them and providing resources for further expeditions into the multiverse. With that, let us reach out across the branches of the world tree to Axgard. When you first arrive in Axgard, you're greeted by sharp mountains capped with snow and rolling hills of hardy emerald grass. It's picturesque and oddly still here, and you wonder for a moment if any beings reside along these slumbering knolls besides that of the occasional mountain goats and lions who stumble along cliff faces. You continue on, that is, until you hear something below your feet. A faint rumbling sound, and perhaps the cry of a hammer's strike. Further along, you come to a great door, wider than it is tall. It's decorated in intricate gold, perhaps more gold than you've ever seen in your life. The strike of the hammer is now accompanied by bellowed laughter and wild speak. The door opens to reveal an intricate underground city. You quickly change your stance as this is the most gold you've ever seen. The whole underground glowing with the twinkle of gold inlaid pillars, and halls which stretch far out of sight for miles. It dawns on you now that the surface is not but a shell for the true realm that lies beneath. Welcome to the city of 8 doors, the true face of Axgard. This realm is primarily made up of white and red mana, and populated by stout dwarves of industry and chronicle. There are people whose weapons are known beyond their own realm, made up of the greatest ores and forged by the greatest craftsmen. In these forges there are 2 styles of artistry. The artisans aligned with red mana follow sources of great inspiration and passion. Oftentimes these dwarves will follow their whims and pour all of their concentration into a single weapon, sparked by the flames of expression, forging weapons of explosive power. For the dwarves who align themselves more with white mana, they are far more disciplined and will follow more methodical and detailed plans, crafting items which are far more intricate in design, creating stunning jewelry and armor which dazzles and protects. Any dwarf's first weapon will take decades to craft, consuming much of their youth, but this very weapon will be held by them for the rest of their life, revealing it with pride on their 100th birthday, as an extension of themselves and a claim to adulthood. You see, from this single act of devotion, a lot is learned about the beings of Axgard, in that they are disciplined, dedicated, and passionate about their craft, a perfect merger of both white and red mana. Among the artisans of Axgard are the clerics, chanters, and battle skalds, dwarves of similar but differing purposes who collect the sagas of not just their people, but of every realm they encounter. They collect these tales and recite them in grand halls to inspire others, these stories held in as high of regard as their very weapons. Sometimes these recitals can span days, thousands of dwarves in attendance eager to hear every word. This inspiration through the retelling of stories is a matter of holding up their people and allowing those who they have lost to ignite the fires of passion within one another. Many of these tales are bred from great battles, as each dwarf of Axgard is a warrior in their own right, forged by combat. Thus, it is more appropriate to call each a warrior artisan, as they are one and the same. Each of these warrior artisans fight with everything they have, in hopes that their deeds may be recited in the great Bloodhammer halls. As they do not fear death, they simply fear not living a life worthy of story. The dwarves of Axgard are a proud people who hold up their society through discipline, compassion, and inspiration. These traits are an expression of white-red based on the idea of strengthening society through inspiring one another to reach their potential, and of holding oneself to a higher standard. Oftentimes, white and red are colors who clash if they cannot find balance, but I believe the dwarves of Axgard have found that balance. They understand that nothing comes without discipline, and that there are times when one must put their head down and make something that will enrich their comrades. But at the same time, they know that without the sharing of joy and tales, that their society wouldn't be as strong as it is. It's setting up the structures that allow for personal expression. The dwarves of Axgard have shown me that even if you're short in stature, you can be larger than life, so long as you live your values with passion. Thank you, friends, for joining me on the first leg of our journey. Axgard is indeed an interesting place, and I learned to love these dwarves quite a bit, but we have a long way to go, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of that. And let me know down in the comments which realm you would like to travel to in our next episode. With that, friends, I will catch you in the multiverse. Bye.